Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, March 4th. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Sonia Shrivastava. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, a serial shooting suspect is now in custody in connection with 5 incidents across several Maryland counties over the last 2 weeks. Anne Arundel police apprehended 35-year-old Hong Young of Beltsville yesterday after officers spotted his blue 1999 Lincoln Town car and pulled him over. The vehicle was first captured on surveillance video near a February 24th incident by Arundel Mills Mall. Young now faces attempted murder, assault, and related charges in that incident. The other shootings occurred at a Howard County movie theater, the NSA, and along the ICC. The last 2 happened early yesterday. At a press conference today, officials say good police work led to Young's quick capture.
I think it's important to note at this point that we have 2 folks who were put in mortal fear of their life. And the good news is today that neither of those folks suffered a serious injury, physical injury, and that we have everybody who's been victimized by this situation, by this person, is alive and well.
All of the forensics evidence would go to Prince George's County, and our firearms examination unit would do all of the analysis. The following cases have been forensically linked to the weapon recovered from the suspect early this morning. February 24th, the incident at Arundel Mills Boulevard, Monday's incident at the mall in Columbia, yesterday's incident on the ICC, and yesterday's incident at NSA. The gun that was used and recovered was a Bursa caliber .380 handgun, semi-automatic handgun. It was legally registered.
The suspect in this case is a former employee of the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services. He's a correctional officer. He worked for our department from January 2012 and resigned in May of 2014.
Now, Young is currently under police guard at a local hospital where he's being treated for an unknown ailment. The investigation remains active as police try to figure out a motive, though officials do not believe they are related to potential domestic terrorism.
Protesters crowd in front of the Supreme Court as hearing arguments begin in the landmark case which could unravel Obamacare. King versus Burwell challenges insurance subsidies. Presently, under the Affordable Care Act, states have an option to operate their own health insurance exchange, and if they choose not to, the federal government takes over. If it prevails, the lawsuit will take away affordable care in states that don't have their own exchange.
The federal government stand ready to respond to whatever policy implications may occur by the court doing what the statute intended, by doing exactly what the statute says, which is if a state chooses to set up an exchange, the subsidies are issued and so are the penalties. But here you have 37 states who have said no, and that should be respected. It is not a power of the IRS to disregard the plain reading of a statute.
What I hope is that the ruling goes in favor of Obamacare, I guess, so they rule against the plaintiffs, and they finally put a rest to this fight.
So for me, it is an option with the subsidy. I don't have to go into debt. I don't have to go into bankruptcy. I don't have to default that debt onto the state. So it not only makes it so I can only afford to pay for myself, that I don't have to accept handouts, I don't have to turn over my debt to the government.
If the court rules against the government, more than 8 million people can lose their health care.
A bipartisan group of state legislators and educators met today to discuss 2 related bills that would reduce school testing in Maryland. A press conference was held on both of those proposals. The first bill would scale back standardized testing in state schools, while the second would place a 2-year moratorium on testing in grades pre-K through 2.
They don't need to be spending all that time taking tests that aren't giving teachers very much information about the students. There's another bill it's a Blue Ribbon Commission bill, which would establish a panel, a group to look at testing in general in Maryland to determine whether the tests we're giving are really valuable. Do they provide information on the students that we need?
Now, the speakers stressed the point of using more time to allow students to develop socially and educationally at young ages before taking school tests. Well, the region is expecting another blast of winter weather. The snow is expected to start late tonight and continue through Thursday morning. We could see up to 5 inches or more in some areas. First responders are also gearing up for the event. Prince George's Fire Chief Mark Bashore says the real problem for them begins after the plow trucks are done.
One thing we really need residents to pay attention to for us is where they know there's a fire hydrant. When the plows are done, please help us out. Get out there and help us shovel that hydrant out. There's just too many of them countywide for us to be able to get out and do it ourselves.
Bashore says the department has 6 plow trucks that they use in times when streets have not been cleared.
Metro is also gearing up for the big snow tomorrow. The agency says commuters can expect some detours and suspension of bus service due to the weather. Changes will be announced via Metro alerts and online at WMATA.com. Now, Metro says rail service should be unaffected by the weather. Again, all updates will be announced via Metro alerts and at WMATA.com. Well, with the start of the snow tonight into tomorrow's school and work could be closed. Have people in our area had enough of Old Man Winter? CTV News caught up with some Prince George's residents, some of whom are wondering how long this weather's going to last.
So what are you going to be doing when you are indoor all day? How do you deal with cabin fever?
Same way I do it every day. I mean, I've got a laptop computer I'm taking home. I'll do some work when I can. When I can't, I'll clean the house.
Have you ever had to deal with cabin fever?
Yeah, and I act like a bear. I hibernate. You know, that's all I can do.
What do you do when you have that feeling, that cabin fever feeling? What activities do you do? Do you try to do?
Well, usually I'm on my computer, you know, the social networks. You know, I find I can make myself busy. I play chess either with my roommate or online, you know, so it ain't gonna be that bad. 6 inches of snow ain't that much. I've seen worse.
You sound very prepared.
No, I'm all right. It's gonna be good. I need the rest.
Well, the good news is spring is around the corner, and if you've been itching for warmer weather, hopefully you won't be waiting too long. The official start date of spring is March 20th.
Yes, I think everybody's pretty much done with
I
winter.
think we are. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Sonia Srivastava.